Everybody, this is your boy DrkBLADExx, of Dark Enforcers, aka Black Hawk Division Leader for DCUO. What's going on? What's good with you, people? I know this video is really late getting out there, but it's going to come back, so it's worth still putting on YouTube. So with that being said, this is the 6th anniversary event, the Anti's Monitors Shattered Expectations Feat video. Once again, sorry for the lateness of this video, but keep in mind that this event will be coming back around. Therefore, at least the video's online now, right? There are several ways of getting this feat. It's actually a lot easier than it looks. Alright, put it this way. There's a 5-minute speed feat video. So that just tells you just how easy this can be. If you think about it. I know a lot of people are like, there's no way possible. Yeah, yes, it is. It actually is possible. And it really is possible. That's all I can say. I'm going to break this down. I'm going to show you guys 2 ways of getting this feat. Now, unfortunately, I didn't have the space free on my console to actually record my playthrough doing it both ways. I tried to record it, the console wouldn't let me save the video, and that's when I realized I had no more space on my console, period. So, yeah. It happens, at least for me. But anyway, I did record the first way of doing it, which I'm going to show you in this video, and I'm going to talk about the second way. However, for the second way, I'm going to say right now that it's a lot easier to do than the first way. Only because the second way requires absolutely no burn at all. Now, both ways really require no burn, but this second way really requires no burn. Okay, so hopefully if you guys are watching this video, you've already seen my how to solo purge the merge videos. That video is going to become very important in this, only so that you guys can understand the importance and just how powerful the following items are: the qwa-bombs or q-bombs, or just the bombs, and the exobyte interference shield, or just shield for this video. Those will be OP. Everybody in your group needs those. Everybody. Alright, I don't want this video to be too long. I'm already telling you 2 ways of how to do it, but really only showing you the one. So I don't want to go into an even longer video by telling you guys the importance of those. Just know that for this feat, if you're going to do this in 2 minutes or less, it is absolutely necessary that everybody in your group has at least the bombs, the qwa-bombs or q-bombs, whatever you want to call them. The shields are kind of necessary too, but they're not 100% needed. The bombs are absolutely needed. If you don't have the bombs, if no one in your group is using the bombs, you're not getting this feat. That's just how it is. Period. Alright, now let me explain a few things. As I said, I'm going to tell you 2 ways of doing this, but I'm only going to be able to show you the one because I wasn't able to save the video of the other way. So first, I'm going to start telling you about how to get this feat with the way I wasn't able to show you, which I believe is actually a more efficient way of getting this feat. It's just easier overall, as far as I'm concerned. It's just easier, especially if all you're worried about is just getting this feat and nothing else really. It's just easier. Okay, no matter which way you're going to do this, everybody in your group, no matter what role they are, they could be the tank, they could be the DPS, they could be the troll, they could be the healer, whatever have you, everybody needs to have bombs. Now, if everybody has shields, that's even better. But everybody must have bombs. Shields are optional, but you should have both. Actually, if you're really having a really hard time doing this, you might want to have both. But here's the thing. Those qwa-bombs, I'm not going to get into full detail about it, but those bombs work on everything on this map. Everything. Every single thing you can attack, they work on, except for the anti-monitor himself. If you guys read the description, it says 40% of the current life is tucking away every time you use a bomb. Every single time. 40% of the current life. Not the full health bar, but the current remaining health. Every time you draw a bomb, the current remaining health is tucking down 40% every single time you do that. Okay, so if everybody is drawing a bomb at a shard, it's pretty much gone. There it is. There's your hint. That's how you get defeat. But let me go in a little bit more detail on that. Okay, so for the first way that I'm telling you guys about doing this, which unfortunately I don't have a video for, it's quite obvious. Every single person in your group needs to stick together. Nobody, under any circumstances, should be doing any type of attacks whatsoever. Yes, that's right. I know it's sad. I know it sounds weird. It's like, how are we supposed to do this? Let's hear me out. Nobody in your group, not the troll, not the DPSs, not the healers, not the tank if you decide to have a tank. Nobody in your group should be attacking with powers, weapons, or nothing. Anything like that. Use only your bombs. Use only your bombs. 8 bombs thrown at one shard. Its life should be so small you can barely see it. At that point, you have 2 options. Option 1, orbital strike. The shard is instantly gone, and all the adds around it, which have also been affected by all the bombs as well, are now evaporated instantly with that orbital strike. That's option 1. Option 2, now everybody, since everybody has drawn their bombs, can now DPS and the shard is gone and there's no more adds. Yes, they'll be so weak that when everybody starts to DPS, they instantly drop dead. And you just do that from shard to shard to shard to shard to shard. The reason it's so efficient is because no matter how good or how bad your damage is, when 8 bombs are thrown at one shard, because there's 8 people in your group, when 8 bombs are thrown at one shard, it will be so low that it doesn't matter if you're just using your weapon attacks, it's going to drop dead. The shard is going to be destroyed. Okay, now, just so you guys can try to understand what I mean, is this. Every time a bomb is thrown, 40% of the current life, or whatever you're drawing it at, is tucking away. The current life. Only 40%. Not 100% ever, just 40%. That also means that the bombs themselves will never actually be able to kill anything. However, the bombs will be able to take the life down so far that you might not even be able to see a health bar. However, the bombs themselves will never, ever be able to kill anything. However, on a shard, 8 bombs will take it down so far that one person alone can use a rotation and the shard is gone, along with the enemies around it. Now, if all 8 of you are there and you're all doing your rotations, that shard really doesn't stand a chance. It's going to pretty much just fade into existence in a matter of nanoseconds. When it comes to actually getting rid of the shards, I suggest using one of 2 methods. One person designated to call out orbital strikes, or 2, just use your rotations. Now, it's up to you which one you want to use. Some people like saving their orbital strikes for the anti-monitor part. And some people, even if they're going for the speed feat, realize that if they're really doing it really, really fast, that the orbital strike will be back in time for the anti-monitor part, so they're not worried at all. But it's all up to you what you want to do. However, I'm going to suggest you either use them on the shards, or you can just use your rotations, because remember, after 8 bombs, the shard's going to be so weak anyway, it's just going to just evaporate. It doesn't really matter. But if you wish to do it that way, here are my tips. If you want to do it the orbital strike way, I suggest, and I highly, highly recommend this. Highly. If you're doing it that way, I highly recommend that you have one person on your team, one person designated to announce who should be dropping their orbital strikes. You don't want more than one going off at a time. And this is because, and a lot of people know this, but there might be somebody who doesn't. When more than one orbital strike is unleashed at the same time, it cancels out the orbital strike. Yeah, it cancels out the orbital strike. That means that if 2 or more orbital strikes are unleashed, only one is going to hit and the others are canceled out, which means you have a cooldown for damage you couldn't do. Which is why it's so important to wait for the animation of one orbital strike to go through before you unleash the next orbital strike. Now, a long time ago, you used to be able to just unleash them all at the same time, but the devs did away with that, and now you can only do one at a time. But if you want to unleash all 8 of them, go ahead, but you're only going to get credit for 1 orbital strike. Only one is going to hit, the other 7 will not do any damage whatsoever. And the other 7 will still have a cooldown on them, so it's up to you what you want to do. But I highly suggest that one person in the group is designated to call down who's doing what. For who's ever doing this part, I suggest that person be on mic and everybody be able to hear and listen to it. Nobody in the group should be unleashing an orbital strike unless that one person says their name and says, hey, you go, you're up. That's how you're going to get this feat fast. Remember, if 2 orbital strikes go off at the same time, then you're going to mess up the feat. No one should say, hey, I'm going next. No. You go when you're called. Okay, go when you're called. Only when you're called. So that's one way of getting rid of the shards real fast. Another way is, remember, you just drew 8 bombs out of shards, so your rotations will evaporate it. And you can just move on to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. That way you save your orbital strikes if you choose to do so. Alright, now with that being said, there's also a little bit of a problem with this method, but there's always a problem with every method in the game. The problem comes down not to the speed of taking out the shard. The shards will wipe so quickly with this method that it's just amazing how quickly they wipe. You can pretty much take out a shard in about 4 seconds, if even that long. That's right, if even that long. Which makes you wonder, so 4 seconds a shard, if even that, so it's really like 2 seconds a shard. How the hell aren't people getting this feat? You know, if it's 2 minutes to get all 9 shards, and it takes 4 seconds or less with this method to get rid of the shard, why aren't more people having this feat? The reason is because the shard spawn is random. It is completely random. A shard might spawn right next to the shard you're attacking. Another shard might spawn way over to the other side of the map, aka the other side of the world. And it may do that thousands of times. You may have to keep running to the right side and run all the way over to the left and run all the way back over to the right side and run way back over to the left constantly. That is what stops people from getting this feat, really. It's random and there's nothing you can do about it. It's just how the shards form. There are tons of spawn spots for the shards, and it's random which spot is used. With that being said, it comes down to luck, in a way. There's no way around it. It comes down to luck. Did all the shards spawn on one spot so you didn't have to keep flying around hell? Or did you have to keep flying around the world trying to get all the shards? So it does come down to a little bit of luck. But at the same time, that's another thing that's good. Since this is at the beginning of a queue, at the beginning of the actual raid, you could always just disband and restart to make sure that it works out. So it's not like you had to do this feat at the end of the raid. It's a good thing this is done at the beginning because of that. I guess to put it a better way, let me show you guys exactly what I mean. Alright, here's something I wanted to show you guys real quick. So I've only been in this group for about 1:50, but as you guys can see, we don't really have any shards gone yet, but by the time I get out of the screen, we'll have a shard defeated. Anywho, this method, and what I'm about to show you, goes for with any way you want to go about getting rid of the shards in 2 minutes. It just sometimes comes down to luck. Sometimes the shards on one side of the map, sometimes the shards all the way on the other side of the map, and then sometimes they're all close together. As you can see right there, there's 2 shards. They just took one out. Now they have a shard right here. Throw a bomb at one. Hey, look. Now this one's up. I throw a bomb at this one. Look, hey, now this one's up. Sometimes you're just so lucky that all the shards are just all right next to each other, and you don't have to move around the board at all. Sometimes you're lucky. Sometimes you're not. Sometimes you actually have to make that trip to the other side of the map. That's just how it goes. It comes down a little bit to luck. And that's all the first method of getting this feat. Let me tell you about the second method. Now, you guys can decide what method you want to use, but I'm going to give you 2 ways of doing it. So here's the second method. Second method, which is also the one that's I actually have a video of, is this. Look at this board, look at the screenshot. Let's put a line directly through where anti-monitor would be standing at. So right through there, boom. Now we have 2 sides, north, south. That's all you guys really need to know. You have a north, you have a south. With that being said, you need to split up into 2 teams. You guys can split up anywhere you want to, but I would suggest doing it, try to do it at least evenly. Try to have the same amount of DPSs on both sides. Now, if you guys want to have support roles or anything like that, that's cool too, doesn't really matter. But I would strongly suggest splitting up evenly. Anyway, you guys want to do that. Everybody, no matter what, needs to have bombs and needs to have shields. Yes, you will need to have bombs and you will need to have shields. There's no way around it. No way around it. Each team needs to have a captain or a leader or whatever you want to call it. Alright, so one group goes north, one group goes south. Now what those groups are going to do, anything that happens on the south side, the south will grab those shards and gets rid of them. Whatever happens on the north side is going to grab those shards and get rid of it. Now this is what you're going to do, guys. For those of you who don't know, on a fresh, untouched shard, a Q-bomb or qwa-bomb or just bomb, whatever you want to call it, will take about roughly 600,000 health from a shard. Now, knowing that the bombs only take away 40%, and we know 40% is 600,000, we can guess, or make an educated guess, that the shards have about 1.5 million health on them. And each time it goes away, it goes down by another 40, and another 40, and another 40. So the first bomb is going to take 600,000, but the next one's not going to take that much. You get what I'm saying? Alright. Anyway. That being said, everybody on those teams needs to throw a bomb at the shard. Absolutely. Absolutely. So 4 people to a team, all 4 people need to throw a bomb at the shard. At that point, the leader of the group will call down who is dropping their orbital strike. Now this is important. Everybody must have an orbital strike with this method. You're just not going to have this damage and speed to do it otherwise. Everybody must drop an orbital strike on said shards with this method. Now, sometimes you're lucky and you have DPSs that really know what they're doing with their power set. But most of the time, a lot of people in this game just are not lucky. So that's why I'm saying you must have an orbital strike ready. So, on those teams, remember we're broke into groups of 4. So 2 groups of 4. North and south. Both sides have 4 people. When you go to a shard, those 4 people throw a bomb at the shard, and then one person calls out who's doing the orbital strike. No matter what role you are, you could be a patrol, you could be a healer, you could be a tank, DPS, doesn't matter. Everybody needs to have orbital strike, because orbital strike is role-less. That means we're all doing the same amount of damage when it comes to orbital strike. Everyone's doing the same amount of damage, doesn't matter what your stats are. Orbital strikes are based on your CR, not your role, not your stats. That being said, all 4 people throw a bomb at the shard. You drop an orbital strike, that shard is done. You're going to have ads left because there wasn't 8 people throwing bombs. Forget the ads, fucking leave them alone. Move to the next shard. Do not stay and try to finish them off. Leave them, move to the next shard. Throw bombs at that shard. Someone calls down the next orbital strike. You actually should have an order. Call that person's name. That person now drops the orbital strike. That shard's gone. Forget the ads. Move on to the next shard. And just keep doing that. And doing that. And now remember, the south side stays down south. The north side stays up north. So sometimes you're going to be sitting there a while waiting for one to come on your side. But hey, that's just how it rolls. Like I said, it's very, very random how these shards spawn. You might have all the shards just pop down south. You might have them all just pop up north. You might have it so that it goes back and forth. North, south, north, south. Hey, it's really random. It's just really random. There's nothing else I can say about it. It's just really random. But however, everybody needs to have an orbital strike. Now remember, there's only 8 of you, but there's 9 shards. That means that last shard will not get an orbital strike. Well, when there's only 1 shard left to go, everybody comes back together as a whole. With there only being 1 shard now, there is absolutely no reason to split up anymore. Everybody comes back at the whole and they attack the last shard together. Everybody throws a bomb. Everybody, you go to your rotations, instant gone. Everybody, all 8 people. If they're not there yet, just keep throwing your bombs. Now, once you throw a bomb, go through your rotations, wait for the next team to back you up. Whenever your bomb comes out of cooldown, throw it again, just in case your team is taking too long to get over there. Alright, so keep throwing bombs, getting that health down, while the other person is also going through their rotations. This will help speed it along. And you should get the feat pretty easy with this way. However, like I said, the first method is still my favorite. However, once again, this comes down to not just the timing, but also to, well, the spawn spots. Did they all spawn close to each other so you didn't have to waste time going from one shard to the next? Or did you actually have to waste time going from one shard to the next? Alright. I think you guys are ready to see a video that's actually in progress. Let's go. Alright, this is a voiceover. Once again, we're doing the second method in this video. I really wish I would have had a video of the first method, but sorry about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is the
you'll be just to my right.
So in this video, we've already split up into our groups. Now, keep in mind that when you're going for this the whole 2 minutes or less, the timer for that begins.
And
I mean, the shard takes damage in any way, shape, or form, then the timer for that feat starts to count to 2 minutes over. So, with that being said, you can actually wait in this room and wait for the to load up, or actually go to, you know, the north and south, just make sure you're away from the ads, and wait there until everybody's loaded up and ready to go. The timer has nothing to do with the actual time up there, you see up on the scoreboard. It has nothing to do with that at all, whatsoever. Okay, so like for instance, me and my group, we're going to get somewhat close to the shards, but then we're going to chill over here, wait for everyone to get here on the map. Once everybody on my side is ready and in position, and once everybody on the other side is ready and in position, then we begin. Remember, once again, the timer does not begin until a shard has taken damage or until a shard is actually destroyed. One of them. I'm just going to pretend for the sake of argument that it's when a shard takes damage. So now we're throwing bombs at our shard and I targeted the wrong thing and yeah.
We got a shard.
Anyway, now we're going down orbital strike. We're good to go. See, on to the next one. Remember, don't use an orbital strike until your name is called. Both sides should have a leader that calls down who's doing their orbital strikes. That way no one's getting confused of if I should throw my stuff now or should I wait. No matter what method you're doing, somebody needs to call down who's doing what. With this method, there's 2 leaders. With the very first method, there's only 1. For those who are wondering, my side is the north side, and Shadow is leading the south side.
You're up, Mender.
My orbital's up. Shield.
Okay, so once again, we're leaving the ads. We don't care about the ads. However,
I got it.
since you're not leaving your side, if there's nothing left to attack, then by all means, take out the ads. Don't let them just sit there. If there's nothing else to attack on your side, go ahead and take out the ads. But keep looking out for new shards. Now you see how fast this is going? I can pretty much guarantee that the other method is even faster than this. At least in my personal opinion. I'm sure some people might argue, but in my personal opinion, the other method is even faster than this.
Onto it.
And that's when we decide to just use rotation and save our orbital strikes.
There you go. Good shit.
I ran out of shield.
And there it is.
Yeah, and
If you guys have any comments, questions, or anything like that, leave them in the comment section below, and I will get back to you. Once again, sorry for putting this video out really late. Sorry about that, but I actually wanted to get the event done, so it took me a while to get the event, and then when I was actually trying to record video, I realized that I had no more space. Anyway guys, see you guys later. This is DrkBLADExx, Dark Enforcers, aka Black Hawk Division Leader for DCUO. Dark Enforcers, Darkness Rises.